Guns, drugs, and crime have been a part of hip-hop culture for a long time. That means that cops and rap artists have not exactly been the best of friends. And while cops often find it hard to get any dirt on rappers, sometimes rap stars make it easy for the police by implicating themselves in criminal activities. Here are 10 rappers who snitched on themselves. 6ix9ine. Anyone who is not familiar with 6ix9ine may well be living under a rock. Daniel Hernandez, alias 6ix9ine, became famous for his long, colorful hair and innumerable tattoos on his face and body, as well as snitching on himself and his fellow gang members. 18 November 2018. 6ix9ine and 4 other associates were arrested and charged with federal RICO and firearms charges, including conspiracy to commit murder and armed robbery, and faced up to life in prison. He was allegedly part of a violent sect of the Bloods known as the 9 Trey Gangsters. Although they had pleaded not guilty, he soon changed his tune and cooperated with authorities. The rapper snitched on himself by confessing that he tried to have a fellow rapper killed. He admitted that after beefing with Chief Keef on social media, he offered $20,000 to Ken T. McKenzie, a 9 Trey gangster, to carry out the shooting. McKenzie carried out the attack outside the W Hotel in Manhattan, although no one was injured. After the shooting, McKenzie allegedly met with 6ix9ine and Shotty, settling for a payment of $10,000 for the attack. 6ix9ine's lyrics were particularly of interest to authorities, even before the gang was taken down. According to authorities, his music contained evidence of organized crimes and gang conspiracies. Prosecutors even played parts of 6ix9ine's breakout single, Gummo, during his testimony. At another point of the rapper's testimony, prosecutors played back Kuda, which is a song Tekashi says he named after one of his friends with that nickname. Here, prosecutors even pulled up the transcript of the lyrics as they deemed them damning. The rapper did not only snitch on himself, but also he had to take down other gang members to fulfill his end of the plea deal. The hip-hop star pointed out to prosecutors the gang members who appeared in the video for his songs Gummo and Kuda. He also implicated his fellow gang members in various violent acts, including assaults and kidnappings. Due to his cooperation with the authorities, 6ix9ine got a lenient sentence. His cooperation meant that he couldn't fully be prosecuted for any of his 9 charges. Instead, the rapper was given a sentence of 2 years after his testimony. The rapper was released early due to concerns that he would be at risk in case of COVID-19 outbreak in the prison. However, despite all these, he will forever be remembered for self-snitching as well as snitching on his homies. Nuke Bizzle.
Rapper who boasted about stealing money through fake unemployment accounts in California is now pleading guilty to mail fraud.
When talking about Nuke Bizzle, it is difficult to say whether he was smart, inhumane, or dumb. At the height of the pandemic in 2020, businesses shut down. This saw many people lose their jobs and could not afford basic needs. The government decided to give people stimulus checks to ease their economic burden. The money was distributed as part of a program that extended unemployment benefits to self-employed workers, independent contractors, and others who found themselves in hard economic times during the pandemic. While this helped countless families get back on their feet, criminals also reaped big. Among them was 33-year-old rapper Fontrell Antonio Baines, alias Nuke Bizzle. Bizzle was arrested and charged with 3 felonies: access device fraud, aggravated identity theft, and interstate transportation of stolen property. The rapper had in his possession and used debit cards preloaded with pandemic relief funds administered by the California Employment Development Department, EDD. The debit cards were issued in names of third parties, including identity theft victims. The applications for these debit cards listed addresses to which Bizzle had access in Beverly Hills and Koreatown. Evidence gathered by the cops found that at least 92 debit cards that had been preloaded with more than $1.2 million in fraudulently obtained benefits were mailed to these addresses. The rapper and his co-schemers accessed more than $704,000 of these benefits through cash withdrawals, including in Vegas, and purchases of merchandise and services. These guys had just hit the jackpot. When the rapper was arrested by Las Vegas police in October 2020, he had 8 debit cards in his possession, 7 of which were in the names of other people. If convicted of all these charges, Nuke Bizzle would have faced up to 22 years in federal prison. Luckily, he took a plea deal where he was supposed to forfeit $56,750 that the cops had caught him with. The Memphis rapper was later convicted to 77 months in prison and ordered to pay $704,760 in restitution to the EDD. You may be asking, how exactly was he caught? One word: self-snitching. Nuke Bizzle could not believe how easy the money was coming in that he decided to do a song featuring Fat Wizard, detailing his scheme. He even had the audacity to title the song EDD. The song was full of incriminating lyrics. He starts by thanking then President Donald Trump for sending the checks, and then goes ahead to brag about getting rich off EDD. I gotta shout out to Donald Trump. I just might swipe me a lump sum. I'm in Dior having money fun. I done got rich off EDD, the rapper sings. He even admits to stealing when he raps. And I just woke up to 300 G's, stole 60K off of SBA. It's time to ball like the NBA. 10 cards, I'm swiping 10K a day. His most damning lyrics were when he admitted that he was participating in EDD scams. You gotta sell cocaine. I could just file a claim. Racks coming straight to the bank. I'm doing shit that you can't. Now I'm smart and you ain't. EDD scams, that's something you heard about. Well, one thing is certain. Nuke Bizzle is not proud of that song. G-Dep. He signed a $350,000 contract in 1998 with Bad Boy Records, but in 4 years, he was broke and addicted to PCP. What had turned the rapper's world upside down? What had set his life on the downward trajectory? Travell Gerald Coleman, alias G-Dep, was an American rapper from Harlem, New York City. He dropped out of college to pursue a career in the hip-hop industry. Disappointed with his decision, his mother, who wanted him to become a lawyer, stopped supporting him financially. He was on his own. Determined to follow his dreams, he moved back in with his grandmother at 1840 Lexington Avenue. Life was not easy here, as he was forced to sell cocaine on the sidewalk in front of his grandmother's building to make ends meet. Whenever he saved enough money, he and a friend would go to the Bronx and spend 4 or 5 hours at the recording studio. However, everything changed when he bought a gun 6 months after he moved in with his grandmother. According to his peers, the .40 caliber handgun would come in handy and would help him appear more intimidating. 18 October 1993, 1 month to his 19th birthday. Broke, but with his gun on him, G-Dep decided to try his luck at robbery, a decision he would regret for decades to come. He picked the wrong guy to rob. His victim seemed unafraid of the gun pointed toward him. He stepped toward him and grabbed for the gun. Startled, G-Dep pulled the trigger, letting off 3 shots. The man winced and stumbled. Horrified by the incident, the teenage boy sped away on his bike. What haunted G-Dep the most was that he did not know whether the man he had shot had died. He threw his gun in the East River, hoping that it would lift the burden off his heart. But every time he passed near the crime scene, he would have flashbacks of the incident, the sound of his gun going off, the man wincing and stumbling. While signed to P. Diddy's Bad Boy Records, G-Dep got addicted to PCP, also known as dust blunt. For those who are not familiar with the drug, it is marijuana mixed with angel dust. The rapper revealed that PCP helped him alleviate his torment in a way that marijuana never had. However, his addiction got the better of him, and his world fell apart. He lost his record deal, his family, and his lease on the townhouse in New Jersey. He had to move back to the street where it all began, and he was tormented even more, and rehab did not seem to help him. So on a freezing night near the end of 2010, G-Dep walked to the 25th precinct and confessed to his crime. The last line of his confession, "The reason I turned myself in was because I felt awful about what I did, and I wanted to make it right for this guy's family." 3 weeks after his confession, he was sentenced to 15 years to life and will be up for parole in 2025. Chief Keef. Keith Pharrell Coatsart, alias Chief Keef, is no stranger to self-snitching, as it has landed him in trouble with the law twice. The Chicago-born rapper, who is best known for his hit song, I Don't Like, had his first serious encounter with the police at 16. On the 27th of January 2011, the rapper was arrested on charges of heroin manufacture and distribution. Since he was a juvenile offender, he served time under house arrest. However, the first time he got into trouble for implicating himself in the crime came in 2012, after the death of fellow rapper Lil JoJo in a tragic shooting. The 16-year-old rapper had been beefing with one of Chief Keef's friends, Lil Reese. When news broke out, Chief Keef took to Twitter to mock the tragic rapper's passing. Ha 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 ha. Rich, he wrote. It's sad because that nigga JoJo wanted to be just like us, LMAO. This tweet sparked an investigation as the Chicago police revealed that Chief Keef was under investigation for Lil JoJo's murder because of the tweets. Lil JoJo's mother even maintained that Chief Keef had paid someone to kill her son. I don't believe he pulled the trigger himself, she said. I believe he paid someone to do it. Although he was never charged, it should have been a warning to keep his mouth shut. But it seems he never learned his lesson. In 2011, a judge sentenced him to home confinement at his grandmother's house after an encounter with the cops that could have left him dead. According to the reports, the rapper left his grandmother's home holding a coat over his hands in front of his waistband. While outside, he was stopped by a policeman for questioning. Chief Keef proceeded to drop the coat and flash a blue steel handgun at the cops before running away. Officers chased the young boy, who turned around several times and pointed the gun at them without firing. The police fired at him, but fortunately for the rapper, they missed. They caught him a half block later and recovered the loaded pistol. He was charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault with a firearm on a police officer and aggravated unlawful use of a weapon. He was also given a misdemeanor charge for resisting arrest. His 18-month probation sentence barred him from coming into contact with any other firearms. However, Chief Keef had the brilliant idea of visiting a gun range. The visit was part of a promotional video for Pitchfork.com. The now deleted video showed the rapper violating his probation. Months later, the rapper was sentenced to 2 months in a juvenile detention facility. Although Chief Keef has been in trouble for multiple probation violations, this one easily amounts to self-snitching. Max B. Charlie Wingate, alias Max B, was sentenced on conspiracy charges pertaining to armed robbery, kidnapping, aggravated assault, and felony murder in mid-2009. Facing a 75-year sentence, Max B was forced to do what most in the industry consider taboo. He snitched on himself. Having a music career filled with controversies and feuds, Max B found himself in trouble with the authorities in 2006. Police reports show that Max sent his stepbrother, Kelvin Leardam, and his ex-girlfriend, Gina Conway, in 2006 to rob two men in a Holiday Inn in Fort Lee, northern New Jersey. However, things didn't go as planned. That night, the pair ambushed Alan J. Plowden in room 408 and restrained him with duct tape as they waited for his friend David Taylor. Plowden had convinced the two robbers that he did not have any money in the room and that his friend Taylor was coming with money. When Taylor later came into the room, he had no money on him and he was shot dead. Terrified of what they had done, they fled empty-handed. Plowden then alerted the hotel front desk of the murder. As police entered the room, Plowden was caught moving $30,000 out of the room. He had played his friend, who had just been shot dead. 1 week later, the two robbers and their coordinator, Max B, were arrested and charged. Max B was later released on $2 million bail. In 2009, he was found guilty on 9 of 11 counts. Among them were murder, conspiracy, and robbery. He was later sentenced to 75 years in prison on September 4th, 2009. The first course of action the rapper took was to get a new lawyer and appeal the court's decision. However, on the 30th of August 2012, the rapper's appeal was denied, meaning that he was set to remain in prison to finish his 75-year sentence. This was a huge blow for the rap star. Born in 1978, 31-year-old knew that he would die behind bars. He had two options: accept his fate and live out the rest of his life in jail, or take a plea deal. On the 16th of September 2016, Max B's friend and fellow rapper, French Montana, released a statement revealing Max B had taken a plea bargain for aggravated manslaughter. He also revealed that he would be released in 2 to 6 years. This sparked celebrations in the hip-hop community, with fellow rapper Wiz Khalifa reacting positively to the news. Max B is coming home. Sentence got shortened. Looks like the gang will be working with the Wave. French Montana revealed that Max B will be released this year via Twitter. Bobby Shmurda. Artists love to express their day-to-day activities in their art. For rappers, this is mostly seen when they rap about street life. But maybe it's not such a good idea to share with the world your daily activities. Bobby Shmurda would have to learn the hard way. In an interview with the New York Magazine, the rapper revealed that his music was straight facts. Akil Jean Pilar, alias Bobby Shmurda, experienced a meteoric rise in the music industry with this single Hotness. Ironically, the song that led to his success would also lead to his downfall. Shmurda was no stranger to criminal activities. The rapper was first arrested in 2014 when the police saw him flashing a gun in an apartment. He was charged with felony criminal possession of a weapon. In December of the same year, he was arrested in a drug trafficking sting with 14 others, including his brother, Javis, and a fellow GS9 label mate, Rowdy Rebel. 21 guns were recovered in the operation. The group was charged in a 69-count indictment that included murder, attempted murder, weapons possession, and a list of other crimes in connection with long-term investigation into shootings and narcotics dealings in Brooklyn. What is more interesting is that Shmurda's lyrics in his song Hot were almost used in court. According to the authorities, the rapper's lyrics were almost like a real-life document of what they were doing on the street. Many argue that it is only art. Even the judge rejected the application in the case, arguing that one would not presume that Bob Marley, who wrote the well-known song I Shot the Sheriff, actually shot a sheriff. However, what is interesting is that Shmurda has confessed in interviews that the lyrics are true representations of his life. In the song, he raps, "Been selling crack since like the 5th grade." In an interview with Complex Magazine, he said, "I was running with older guys, my brother and his friends. So by the time they was doing stuff, I was doing stuff. So they was in like 9th grade." Although the song was not used as evidence in his case, they were crucial clues for the authorities during the investigations. And now he faced a possible sentence of 8 to 25 years for his charges. However, the rapper was offered a plea deal. The deal prevented the rapper from appealing since he had maintained his innocence. Apparently, no guns or drugs were found on him. Initially, he was given 5 years, but chose 7 years so that fellow rapper Rowdy Rebel was served less time. "I did it for Rowdy. They offered me 5 and offered Rowdy 12. They said the only way they'll give him 7 is if I took 7 too. So, I had to take one for the dog." Well, at least Shmurda snitched on himself for a good cause. Rollo. The case of Terrell Davis, alias Rollo, may go down as one of the most outrageous cases of self-snitching. While almost all rappers or even criminals opt to keep their illegally acquired money to themselves, for some reason, he felt that the world needed to see his money, fast cars, and private jet trips. Although he is famed for being one of Atlanta's richest rappers ever, his cockiness may have been the reason for his ultimate downfall. Although Rollo claimed that his wealth was solely through his successful rap career, everyone could see right through his lies. His rap career was not as successful as to generate the amount of cash he constantly constantly flaunted on social media. He constantly flexed huge amounts of cash, wore expensive jewelry, flew in private jets, and drove in expensive cars. Sooner or later, people were bound to start asking questions. Unfortunately for him, it was the police that wanted answers. And since we're talking about rappers who ended up snitching on themselves, you already know he provided the police with all the answers they needed.
Yeah, 20 minutes. We made this in 20 minutes. Big old bag.
Well, where would one make a huge amount of cash in under 20 minutes? And in cash, you guessed it, drugs. Yep, the money was not made through any rap-related activities. The most bizarre thing about Rollo's story is that he had already been caught selling weed. In December 2017, a surveillance team set up by the Georgia State Patrol, ATL, and FBI spotted Davis and others transferring 37 packages wrapped in white holiday paper from the jet to a van registered to the rapper. The van was stopped shortly after leaving the airport, with authorities recovering 520 pounds of marijuana worth about $1 million. Luckily, he was not in the van. However, he took to Instagram to post, "I've lost more than a man has gained in a lifetime. Have you ever lost $1 million at one time? After losing 300K weeks before and still up? Hashtag Alum Delilah." One netizen commented on his post saying, "This caption is crazy as hell watching this shit about you. You literally begged to be arrested on Instagram." This was true. He was referring to the $1 million he had just lost from the bust, which tied him to the drugs. He must have felt untouchable because he did not stop there. He disrespected cops at any chance he got, and they were determined to get him. In April 2018, the cops were tipped off that the rapper was making another run and pounced on him once the private plane landed. They seized 444 pounds of marijuana, worth about $840,000. Rollo was among those arrested. He was later sentenced to 97 months in federal prison. After pleading guilty to 6 counts, including conspiracy to possess with the intent to distribute at least 1 kilo of marijuana, felony possession of a firearm, and money laundering. The game. While some rappers are obsessed with showing the world their flashy lifestyles, others want to be feared. They want to show that they are no pushovers, that no one can mess with them. I'm talking about none other than Jayceon Terrell Taylor, alias The Game. The Game is among the old school rappers who demand respect. Disrespect is often punished using fists. It's no surprise then that he found himself in trouble for assault and acting tough on several occasions. For example, he was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest at a mall. Mall security officers said the rapper was wearing a full-face Halloween mask, filming shoppers, cursed loudly, and refused to leave when asked. The rapper continued to act up, leading to his arrest. He was arrested for threatening someone with a gun while at a basketball game in South LA. In 2017, the rapper pleaded no contest to assaulting an off-duty police officer, an incident that had occurred 2 years prior. Apparently, this also happened during a basketball game. The rapper and the officer were on opposing teams in the game. Reports show that The Game intentionally fouled the off-duty cop and punched him. This led him to be ejected from the game. The rapper went ahead and even threatened to kill the cop. By the look of things, The Game had serious anger management issues. While being served with legal papers outside his house for assaulting the cop, the rapper noticed someone filming. He ran up to him and threatened him. He even kept the man's camera. As part of his sentence for his behavior, the rapper was forced to attend 26 anger management counseling sessions. His anger management had gotten him into trouble in 2012 after assaulting fellow rapper 40 Glock. In a video that went viral, 40 Glock is seen running into a bush after The Game beats him up. The fight lasts long enough that the rapper was able to unlock his phone, open the camera app, and switch to video recording mode with one hand, all while continuing to beat up his ops using a free hand. But in yet another case of self-snitching, The Game posted the video he took of the attack, not the smartest move. Now 40 Glock had evidence of the crime. The rapper would quickly realize his error when he was sued for $4.54 million for assault and battery. This included $500,000 for pain and suffering, $750,000 for lost earnings, $2 million in punitive damages, $500,000 for emotional distress, and $25,000 in medical expenses. In the end, The Game's self-snitching ways cost him $1,900,335.15, which he would pay 40 Glock as a settlement. Take A. The next rapper must have thought he was the main character in GTA, but judging from his age, it's easy to see why. Tavar Trayvon McIntyre, alias Tay-K, was only 16 years old when he got into serious trouble with the law. In July 2016, the young rapper was arrested alongside 6 others in capital murder charges related to a home invasion, which ended the life of a drug dealer in Mansfield, Texas. This case would change his life forever. In a 2.5-hour video played before jurors, McIntyre initially denied involvement in the home invasion. He later acknowledged that he went to the Mansfield house although he did not go inside. Eventually, he admitted that he entered the home and looked for drugs under a couch, but left the house after not finding any. Since TK was a minor, he was placed under house arrest while awaiting certification hearings. A few days before the hearing, a brilliant idea formed in the young rapper's mind. He decided to cut off his ankle monitor and go on the run. Since he was not short of brilliant ideas, he also decided to document the whole thing on social media. Yep, he documented everything on his social media, and his brilliant young mind did not stop there. He also settled on doing a song and shooting a music video about it. And he started his dumb plan by posting on Twitter. "This house arrest 12. They gonna have to catch me on Hood," the rapper tweeted. He was marked as a dangerous fugitive by the U.S. Marshals, who quickly swung into action to arrest him. Weeks later, he was still on the run and took his self-snitching game a notch higher. He took to Twitter to announce his new song, The Race, to detail his current situation. The song became an instant hit, garnering millions of plays within days. By this time, he had perfected his self-snitching game that no one was surprised with the lyrics. Beat, I was trying to beat a case, but I ain't beat that case, bitch, I did the race. Unfortunately for the rapper, his mini adventure would soon become the end, as he was caught by the U.S. Marshals in New Jersey after getting numerous tips. He was taken back to Texas to face his case. He was eventually sentenced to 55 years in prison and ordered to pay $21,000 in fines for the deadly home invasion, 30 years for aggravated robbery, and 2 additional 13-year sentences for 2 other aggravated robbery charges. AR Ab. Abdul Ibrahim West, alias AR Ab, is another rapper in the long list who rap about violence and street life. He is also among those whose lyrics have landed him in hot water. During his court case, the rapper told the court that the court, the FBI agents, and the prosecutors don't understand my culture. We don't rap about flowers and rainbows. We're gangster rappers. So we rap about drug dealing. We rap about violence. In 2018, AR Ab and 8 others suspected of being part of a drug trafficking organization were indicted on counts of distributing drugs in North Philadelphia. His label, Original Black Hustlers, was implicated as a criminal organization, and he was named as the gang's leader. What the rapper did not know was that the cops were watching his every move, every interview, and even listening to his music, just waiting to take him down. That is where he failed, as he self-snitched on several occasions, interviews, and his music. For example, in an interview with DJ Vlad, the rapper admitted to shooting at people, selling crack, and even robbing people. His music was also of interest when he was arrested. According to prosecutors, the rapper's lyrics were more than just music. They were admissions of crimes that had taken place. The lyrics to one of his songs read, "I'll have the whole city scared, stand near your home. I call Taz and tell him, bring that nigga's head to me." The lyrics to this song were allegedly found in the rapper's phone, written 4 days after the death of Robert Johnson, a supposed drug rival. Well, Dantes Taz Stewart, a member of AR Ab's crew and one who may have been mentioned in the song, pleaded guilty to Johnson's murder. Prosecutors seemed determined to take him down using his lyrics. One of the prosecutors was even quoted saying, "This wasn't a case against gangster rap. Mr. West made it clear, not just in his lyrics, but in his social media, that people should be afraid of him and his willingness to resort to violence." Although the rapper maintained his innocence, he asserted that Original Block Hustlers was not a drug trafficking ring and instead a legit record label. He was found guilty of several counts of conspiracy and distribution of crack cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine, and was sentenced to 45 years in prison. The rapper promised to seek an appeal to the decision. However, it seems that he gave the cops enough information to put him behind bars. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.